What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Mopods. I'm Mo, and today I'm here to talk shit. So remember last time when I said we started off strong? Yeah, we immediately went downhill with this one. And if you're new here, and by that I just mean if you don't watch episode one, I'm essentially using this channel to get back into reading by talking about the books I'm reading. Now, it has been a minute since I uploaded that first episode, but in my defense, I did finish this book like probably over a month ago. I just haven't had time to sit down and make this video. And I also did like actually read a few other books since then, but some of them were either rereads. I had a fan translation that I skipped like half of the book intentionally, but like I still skipped it. So I wasn't gonna review those. That made no sense. So we're just gonna do this one for now. And with that being said, if I ever have to read the words giant cock again, I'm gonna gouge my eyes out. So Bar Down by Steph CR is the book we're doing today. And let me tell you, I had no intention of doing this book. I was in fact reading a different book. You're gonna hear me say that a lot. I do this a lot. I was reading Beartown by Frederick Brockman, and I am gonna finish that one. But I was reading it, and then I saw this book, and I was like, oh, let me get a sample of that to see if I want to read it later. And then I finished the book. So yeah, that's where we are. So we're doing this one. And now normally at this point I would have showed y'all like the cover. But I read this on my Kindle, so I don't have it. I don't have a physical copy. And thankfully, I fucking hated this book, by the way. Spoiler. But honestly, looking at this cover now, now normally I am the type of person that judges a book by its cover, so I like have a lot to talk about normally. But with this one, I barely even looked at the cover before I read this. I don't know what was going on in my mind with this book, but I just like was not doing what I normally do. But looking at it, I mean, they have like the two main characters on here. Ash is number 1, Eli's 35. And that's like pretty much it. I mean, there's really nothing else to this. So yeah, but also normally I would be giving y'all my thoughts on the like my initial thoughts on like the summary. I didn't fucking read the summary either. I genuinely, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking for this book when I was going in. But I didn't read the summary, so I don't have thoughts. I'm about to read it to y'all, and we're gonna be hearing it for the first time together. So like my initial thoughts are I knew they were best friends to lovers, and I knew they were hockey players, and that is it. Like nothing else. So yeah. Now this is the second book in a series. But they're like standalone books, so you don't have to read all of the series to be able to read this one, or vice versa. They're just like in the same universe, and like I know the first and second book have the same characters. I don't know about the third one. I didn't even look at it. But genuinely I was going to go back and read the first one had I liked this book enough, and I simply did not. I hated this. So I will not be going back to read either of the other two books. And honestly, I don't think I'm ever gonna read anything by this author again. I just like, it was bad. I did not. So I'm gonna read y'all the summary, and then we're just like gonna go. I'll give you my thoughts that way as I read. So this is your warning. Spoilers are ahead. If you don't want them, don't listen to me after this point. So first off, the length of this, 302 pages. That is on Kindle. I don't know if that's different with like physical copies. I don't know how it works, to be honest. But yeah. So let's see the summary. This part I always read. It's not technically the summary, I don't guess, but it's the part that's like above it or whatever. A funny and spicy hockey romance about finding your family and yourself while falling in love with your best friend. Which, yeah. Usually I find those parts to be a better summary than like the actual summary. So yeah, agreed. Let's see. Eli. Okay, here's the thing. I don't know how to say Eli's last name because it's Finnish and I don't want to butcher it. So I'm not gonna say it, but it's spelt Kalias. So yeah. Eli has a promising future with the Grand Marquis Manicores as their primary goalie. And after 2 years with the AHL, he's finally starting to feel confident and comfortable in his role. That is until his best friend kisses him at a New Year's Eve party and throws him for a loop. Yeah, agreed. That did happen. And then Ash Myers is the impulsive party boy and also the best forward the team has had in years. Under the surface, he worries he'll never be enough, not for his team, not for his friends, and definitely not for Eli. Yet, he can't stop himself from pursuing something more with his best friend. Also, yeah, I agree. That sums up him pretty well. And then as they go from friends to more over the course of a year, Ash and Eli realize that falling in love might be more challenging than winning the playoffs, where they let their careers get in the way of their happiness. Now, that part I don't necessarily agree with. Like, their careers never really got in the way of their relationship. Like, sure, they didn't like go around telling everyone they were sleeping together or dating or anything like that, but like it didn't really have that much of an effect, if I'm being completely honest. So whatever. But my rating for this on Goodreads, here's the thing. I officially gave it a 3. I didn't want to give it a 3. I don't think it's a 3. But what I generally do is I usually just round up. Because I didn't want to give it a 2 either. So it's in between. So like my actual rating would be like I guess a 2.5. But I can't put that on Goodreads because they don't let you. So I usually just round up. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should be rounding down. Because that feels like it makes more sense since it's not actually to the 3. So maybe I should round down. I don't really know, but whatever. I gave it a 3 on Goodreads for now. I might put it down to a 2, but it's really a 2.5 for me because I didn't really like much of this book at all. I had a lot of dislikes, and the first couple of reasons that like I disliked it wasn't even like necessarily the content of the book. So one, it read like fanfic to me, and that's not necessarily always a bad thing to me personally. But it's also not a great thing when you're like a professional author. But like at the same time, I read All for the Game series. That series also reads like fanfic to me. The difference is I enjoyed that series. I hated this book. So it kind of like just depends for that. So if you're good with it reading like fanfic, it's not a problem for you. So yeah. But then there was the issue weirded me the fuck out. So these guys, I'm assuming both of them, I don't really remember how old Ash was, but Eli definitely. But I'm pretty sure they're around the same age. he's like 28 years old, okay? I think he turns 29 at some point in this book. They both speak like teenagers. It was just like, I felt like I was reading a high school romance, like dead ass. Because okay, I'm almost 27. Like I turned 27 in a few months. I don't fucking talk like they did. It was like, and they're supposed to be older than me. So I'm just like, what the fuck was that? It just it weirded me out. Like it gave me the ick. That was just so very fucking weird to me, and didn't love that at all. Now this next point, my fault, not the book. It really has nothing to do with the book. It's on me for this. And that's fully because like I just wasn't thinking this through. Like there, it literally says, when, I don't know if it says it on like the hard copy, but on here it quite literally says a friends with benefits. I should have like put that through my head and I'm like, don't fucking read that. But I did read it. And it was too much sex for me. So again, that is fully on me. It didn't really have that much impact to the rating, if I'm being honest. But it was like part of the reason, I guess, that I gave it the rating that I did. So keep that in mind. Because I'm like more of a, I can read 1 or 2 sex scenes in a book type of girly. I'm not the type that just reads constant sex all the time. I don't like it. So yeah, that again was my fault, not the book's. It doesn't really have anything to do with the book. So yeah, just like keep that in mind, I guess. So if you're cool with sex, this is probably up your alley. Yeah. So I want to pause there for a sec because I don't want to like continue on my disliking spree. I want to actually talk about the very small part that I liked about this book. This actually does have to do with the content, and so initially I had stuff highlighted to talk about, but I read this on Kindle Unlimited and I don't have that anymore, so I can't even go back to see what I highlighted and whatnot. So I'm doing this off the top of my head from a book that I finished like over a month ago, so bear with me. But the thing that I liked most about this book, maybe the only thing, the found family trope. I fuck with the found family trope so hard. Like I eat that shit up, and even if she wrote this bad, I probably still would have liked it. But I actually think the found family in this, she actually wrote well. It's the only thing I thought she wrote well. And it was mainly Ash's found family with Robbie. So he has a really shitty father, right? And Robbie kind of like is almost like his father figure, I guess, in a way. And I just like genuinely enjoyed their relationship a lot. And honestly, Robbie's character in general, I enjoyed. I think she wrote his character well. So yeah, I enjoyed that. There was like, I'm trying to remember exactly, there was like a quote that I had highlighted about this, and it was like Robbie telling Eli not to break Ash's heart or he's gonna kick his ass type of thing, like, which is so funny because it's like, yeah, like something a father would say. So it was just like nice to have Robbie have Ash's back, because really Ash didn't have anyone else like that besides Robbie. And like, I guess Robbie's family as well, but like mainly Robbie. That was his thing. So yeah, I very much liked that. Honestly, I don't know if there was really any, actually, wait, no. Okay, I know I quite literally just said it was too much sex for me, but the gasp I let out when they switched. Like, it was some bullshit, like, Eli said, like, why don't you fuck me instead, or something like that. Like, the line was whatever, but the gasp I let out when I realized we got a verse couple on our hands. I fuck with a verse couple. I love that shit. Um, and it just like threw me off. I was like genuinely shocked because we spent like the entire book with Eli topping Ash. So I was just like, I don't know. It just threw me off. I was like, fuck yeah, we love that. Um, but yeah, I genuinely, I don't have anything else that I remember liking about this fucking book, and I can't even go back to look. So this is what we're getting. Um, and now you understand why I rated it the way I rated it. So let's go back to what I disliked. This time actually about the content, I guess. And you also may be wondering why the fuck I didn't DNF it at this point. Two reasons. One, I feel like I'm kind of like both characters. So Ash is bi and depressed. Eli is introverted and anxious. You put all four of those together and you get me. And I just thought that was funny. So I was like, I'm gonna finish this shit just for that. Also, I'm just like in a point in like my journey to get back into reading that I don't want to DNF anything if I can push through, even if I hated the book. Simply because I feel like if I start doing that, I'm just gonna fucking DNF everything I start reading. And I don't want to do that. So, with that being said, let's go back to the dislikes. We're gonna be here for a minute. So, one, the big conflict of this book was that Ash accidentally outs Eli to his family. And the thing is, how she wrote it was almost comical. Like, how it happened was comical. And it kind of like took away from the seriousness of what happened. And it like, because like he just got outed to his family. He wasn't ready to be outed. And like Eli was pissed, rightfully so. But the way she wrote this was so very like unserious. And I was just like, it just like took away from it to me. And like honestly, that part wasn't even like the worst part of like this whole thing. What made me mad even more is that this happened. Ash immediately like left Finland, and they didn't talk to each other for 3 months. Okay, keep that in mind. They did not talk to each other at all for 3 months. And then they come back for training camp, and they're staying in the same house or cabin, whatever the fuck they were in. And then like they made up within like a few days, and I'm just like, you spent 3 months not speaking to each other. The moment y'all are back in the same house, you're good. And it was like they kind of treated it as if like nothing even happened. Like it wasn't even really talked out, like how serious like that was and shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck was the point of the conflict in the first place if you were just gonna like, whatever, that happened, now we're good. And then they like immediately started dating for real that time. I'm just like, what was the point? Just to like throw conflict at them just to have a conflict, I guess. I don't fucking know. That was stupid. Yeah, that that just like did not make sense to me. I genuinely didn't get the purpose of that whatsoever. And then there was like a scene that like right after that, this is me being petty, I know it. But I was so annoyed at this point in the book that I'm just like, I hate everything. So Ash came back and he went to therapy. He needed it. And then he's been sober for 3 months, right? Because he was drinking a lot before this. And he tells Eli, hey, I'm sober. And then Eli takes him on a fucking date to a winery. And I'm just, Eli was the one that was like pissed off at Ash for drinking all the time and doing shit when he's drunk. And then after he finds out that he was sober, he takes him to a winery. And then she wrote it where like Ash was like, oh, I can't tell him that he shouldn't be here. Yes, you should fucking tell him that. For one, he shouldn't have fucking took you. And then just like didn't. Petty, okay? I'm just being petty, but like no. Okay. Remember when I said I felt like I was reading a high school romance? This like ties into that. Eli very much is like in love with this dude. He like says it, okay? He says he's in love with this dude to himself. But for some fucking reason, she had him not say it for so long. And like, it's not even like either of them didn't say it. Ash said it. And Eli knew he was in love with him, right? It's not like he didn't know. And it's not like he like had issues with like being in love with him or whatever. No, he just didn't say it. He wouldn't say it because he had to show him before he could say it. Grown-ass adults, mind you. Grown-ass adults. What the fuck are we doing here? I am so sorry. That is the stupidest fucking thing. Guys, it's so fucking stupid. I probably had a quote to fucking tell y'all, but I can't read that. I don't remember. Fuck that. Now, this one's gonna take a bit. The hockey aspect of this. Icebreaker did a decent job of the hockey aspects, okay? Which gave me, again, false hope. Okay, hi. I said again as if I even mentioned Icebreaker at all in this before then. I mean the gay one, not the straight one. Like, specifically this one. Okay, yeah, bye. I feel like she's never watched hockey a day in her life. Now, if you're not like a hockey girly like I am, so you don't watch hockey, you don't know much about hockey, this is not going to affect you whatsoever. Now, if you are like me, oh my god. She put a goalie goal in here, first of all. Do you know how fucking rare that is? Because she doesn't. Like, nobody's getting a fucking goalie goal. I'm so sorry this man was not doing that. And I just like, theoretically, in like the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. But to me it is, because what the actual fuck? What are we doing? Like, why are we putting... No, okay? And then to top that off, she had... This just felt like really bad writing. She did... So we spent like most of this book in the AHL, and then Eli gets brought up to the NHL because one of the goalies gets injured, right? And he's there. The goalie comes back from the groin injury that he had. and then immediately has another growing injury. And don't get me wrong, this definitely could happen, okay? Take Ben Bishop for the Dallas Stars, for example. It happened to him. But my thing is, like, in the context of this book, it just felt like such bad writing and just like a cop-out to do that instead of him just, like, I guess, fighting for a spot to stay up there. I don't know, man. It annoyed me. And then there was, girl, okay, 2 hours. Eli is in the NHL, right? Ash gets called up 2 hours before the game, okay? 2 hours. You're telling me in that time, Eli did not once look at his phone? 2 hours, okay. He didn't realize one of his teammates was injured. Didn't know that they called someone up and that someone being Ash. And then didn't see that Ash's name was in the locker room before going out on the ice. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Because absolutely fucking not. Like, this is just petty, but I don't give a fuck. That was so fucking stupid. Such bad writing. I don't give a shit. You're bad at writing, okay? I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm gonna stop with the hockey for now because I could go on for hours about that. So, moving on, I just want to, like, do 2 quick points because I don't have much to say on them. It just annoyed me. 1, the Jordan situation. She brought up his mental health and then just, like, did not talk about it whatsoever. It just felt so fucking pointless to even say. No, I don't know if that's, like, if he's the 3rd book. I don't really know, but, like, if he is, I guess, but, like, why even bring that up if you're not gonna even go into it at all? Anyways, that one, and then there was the I don't remember exactly what was said, but basically there was a scene where it was towards the end of the book, I guess. I think it was like when Ash got caught up to the NHL and his father was back. At this point, he had cut off his father, and he wasn't speaking to him. And so his father shows up and he doesn't forgive his father. Good. We like that part. But then, like, at the end, I can't remember exactly what he said. It was something like, it was kind of like a joke sort of line. And it kind of threw off, like, the seriousness of the situation and the fact that he was, like, cutting his father off for good. And that just, like, annoyed me. Whatever. So I just, like, I wish I had, like, the actual scene, because I remember, like, reading that and being super annoyed at it, that, like, I was like, should I actually just, like, DNF this at this point? Now, the last 2 points that I want to talk about, it's, like, the bigger reasons that I hated this book so very much, and I almost DNF'd it because of both of these, which, like, the last one, it was pretty much at the end of the book, so I just finished it. But this first one, I do not remember the page, obviously, but it is towards the end. And so the scene is basically Eli and Juice, which is the other goalie in the NHL. They essentially get outed in an article, and Ash is, like, he's in the NHL at this point, and there's these guys that are being homophobic in the locker room, and Ash, like, calls them out for their homophobia. And then, like, afterwards he's talking to Juice, and he's like, Juice is, like, thanking him for stepping up and saying something. But then Ash says, I didn't do it for you. What the fuck do you mean you didn't do it for him? Like, even if he didn't like the guy, this is essentially saying that Juice wasn't affected by the article that outed him as well, because he's not out to the world either, okay, at this point, right? The article outed both of them, but she's essentially saying that Ash would have let these dudes be homophobic to Juice if Eli wasn't involved. And that pisses me off on another level. Like, acting like this wouldn't affect Juice is so fucking insane to me. And acting like Ash wouldn't have called out the homophobia, it irked me so fucking hard. Like, God, fuck. I genuinely, I stopped reading this book for like a week after that because I was so pissed off that I was just like, I just not finish it. But I was like so close to the end. I forced myself to continue, but I was just like, no. Anyways, that's just not it, okay? Now, this last one. Okay, so after the article comes out, yeah, these happen like really close to each other. After the article comes out, right, Eli decides to make this huge ass fucking decision for the both of them, okay, without fucking telling Ash about it. And it came, like, he basically outed, he did out. He outed Ash to the entire world, okay? After getting mad at Ash for outing him to his family. And technically speaking, this is so much worse. Like, don't get me wrong. Outing someone to their family is extremely bad and fucked up. But, like, it's not all over the fucking news. So, okay. That's like, no, that's not what mainly annoyed me. Both reasons. The fact that he just outed a dude, and the fact that he outed him after getting pissed that Ash outed him first. That's so fucking hypocritical, for one. It pissed me off because she made it out to like this romantic gesture. I am so fucking sorry. That is not romantic. That is so fucking wrong. Because it's not even like, so Ash was out to like everyone in his life, right? But he never once said he was out to the world. So he genuinely got outed. And I just, how are you gonna make the like biggest decision you can make without even consulting with your partner about it? So he like straight up, first off, it sounded stupid as fuck too. I'm again with the high school thing. He goes and says, I'm gay and in love with my best friend Ashton Myers. Girl, what? Why would you say that like that? Like, that's such a fucking that's such a teenager way of doing things. I like that just pissed me off so bad. Like, you just, and like, don't get me wrong, if he wanted to go out there and say, yeah, the article's right, I'm gay, that's one thing, that's his right. But saying I'm in love with my best friend afterwards without telling him, that is not his right. That he does not get to do that without telling Ash first. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna stop with that one. Because like, fuck this book. I'm so very tired of wasting energy on this. it was so bad. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I've spent too long talking about it already. So yeah, we're gonna stop there. I am not going to be reading anything else this author put out because honestly, I feel like it's the writing is the problem. It's not just this book. You write like that. I'm not gonna be reading it. So yeah, overall, do not recommend this book. Feel free to read it if you want to. Obviously, I'm not telling you you can't read it, but my recommendations is to not read it. Honestly, I don't even know if I'll ever read another hockey romance at this point, because if this is how we're going, I don't want to be a part of it. I'm so sorry. Unless like y'all have a sapphic hockey book y'all want to recommend me that's actually good, I will absolutely give that a try, but hard fucking no. Like, no. So yeah, that is all for me today. I wish this was better than it was, and I didn't waste my time reading that shit, but I didn't. So yeah, I will see y'all next time. Who knows what book? We'll see. Bye guys.